planeswalkers, trainers, duelists, and tamers. Welcome! I wanted to do a video today outlining the plans that I have for the channel, kind of like an update, and some of the things that I have working that are going to be coming down the pipe in the next coming videos. So let's start off with Magic. So we're going to be doing some stuff with New Capenna. I'm very excited for this set. Officially, preview season started yesterday. All the previews look amazing so far. I'm a huge Mafia fanatic. Anything Mafia related, like Boardwalk Empire, Peaky Blinders, all that kinds of stuff, and the history and the lore with it, I'm really big into. So the whole, glitz and glamour, Roaring Twenties, mafioso thing that they have for this, I'm a huge fan of, as well as the fact that Shards of Alara was actually my first Magic set. So Mafia-themed Shards is practically tailor-made for somebody like me, which I'm very excited for. So I'm going to be attending the pre-release, and I'm going to be doing a video about that, as well as probably some product opening. Like I said, I am very excited for this set, so I'll probably be getting a bit. It looks like there's a lot of powerful new cards, and I'm excited to kind of experiment with the families. I'm a big Jund guy, and I'm a big Bant guy, but the other families are pretty appealing too. It's not really just, stick to the colors that you like. They're kind of out of the box with the designs and the designscape that they're going for with it. So I'm pretty excited for it, and it's going to be fun. So look forward to that. On the Pokemon side of things, I am still picking up some pieces. I want to finish at least the bare minimum that I need for the decks that I want to build for base set. And then once base set is finished, I'm going to expand into base jungle and then base fossil. And then maybe we'll see about the rocket and the gym leaders and like maybe Neo onwards. Most of my vintage Pokemon stuff is base through fossil. So it's going to be a lot of work and time to get any kind of collection for the sets past that, but certainly it'll be worth it. But I'm excited for base set. A lot of people have been doing base set videos lately, and I think it's a good focal point for Pokemon. It's a lot of, it's the original set, it's the Pioneer, to kind of exemplify what the game is and what it was intended to be. I love all the artwork. I love all the nostalgia that's kind of embedded into the cards. So definitely looking forward to that. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a huge Bulbasaur, Venusaur fan. So that'll probably be my first deck, will be my take on Venus Center, which is an archetype from that time period. And I'm going to go over kind of the different cards in each set and then showcase kind of some of the synergies between them, different decks that you can build, and then I'm going to do, of course, my own lists and show them off on the channel too. Moving over to YuGiOh, there's not a lot of the stuff in modern day YuGiOh that excites me. It's really more of the classic, older, the retro formats, stuff like Goat, stuff like Edison. Really good stuff like Tengu Plant. I think is a great format. I know that a lot of people really just think that Tengu Plant was the best deck at that time, but I definitely disagree. It's a lot more open than I think people give it credit for as far as a format in its diversity. But those are the big Yu-Gi-Oh! Retro formats that I like, so I'm going to be building some decks for those, as well as I want to do kind of some discussions about maybe not necessarily the history specifically, but more of the theory and the philosophy of card games in general and strategy that I've picked up from different games. Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially, it's the one that I've played the longest and I would say know the most about until probably like right before Lynx. I was pretty consistent with it. Like Lynx and Pendulums, I kind of fell off. I started working as an adult and just card games fell by the wayside a little bit. So it's much easier to kind of spend some free time looking at casual stuff and past formats than it is to keep up with the rat race of current competitive metas, especially when you follow several games like myself. So lastly, I want to touch on Digimon. Seems to be everybody's new favorite card game. I am definitely a huge fan of everything that they're doing. I think all of their moves are the right ones. I love the products. I love the quality of the cards. I love they're giving us extra treatments and alternate arts and promos and pre-release cards and all the fun stuff, but it doesn't feel like it's overwhelming. And for a majority of the cards, while the alternate art is going to be 40, 50, $60, you can still get a regular copy for, 25 cents or 3 or $4 or whatever it is depending on the card. So, it's not a huge barrier to entry. When you look at it for like the cost of a competitive deck, having never played card games before, it might be intimidating, but if you look at it comparatively to other card games, the barrier to entry for Digimon is definitely one of the cheaper games, and I think that's a smart move. But the alternate art treatments are definitely worth it if you find yourself sold on a deck that you like. Like, just for example, this Analog Youth, the flavor that just drips off of this card, it's definitely Digimon World 1. Anybody that's played Digimon World 1 on the PlayStation looks at this card, they know exactly what they're going for. You've got the Virus Metal Greymon there. He was in the game. I have the alternate art secret rare as well. Absolutely awesome card. I think it should see some fringe play in Machine Dramon decks myself. But you got that Metal Greymon there. There's a Lekmon riding on top of Greymon. He's got the baby on his hat. Got Gabumon, Koromon. We got Numamon in the corner. We got Sunomon, Agumon. We got Miramon from the restaurant, and the flavor in all these cards and the Easter eggs that are just peppered about throughout. It seems like every set, just the detail and attention to detail that they go to really jazz these cards up is definitely not going unnoticed. So good job, Digimon. And for Digimon specifically, I'm going to be looking at definitely BT8. The set looks really cool. And the Vmon, Stingmon, Imperial Dramon starter decks. I'm going to be getting those and hopefully pulling some Imperial Dramon support out of my BT8 and showcasing a deck for that. Imperial Dramon was definitely one of my favorites when I watched Season 2. I just thought it was so cool how they would DNA Digivolve, and I loved the Armor Digivolve, and that's going to be a mechanic in BT8, which I can't wait. Flame Dramon and Ray Dramon were just so cool to see. It just, okay, well, you can't Digivolve. Well, we can Armor Digivolve and bypass the whole Control Spire aspect of the Digimon Emperor and all that. The lore itself in Digimon was great. I gotta go back and rewatch the seasons. But that's what the plan is for Digimon, is going to be some product openings and probably some Imperial Dramon stuff, probably some Machine Dramon stuff, and I think Green Hybrid I still want to take a look at. So let's take a look at everybody. So to kind of recap here, the big things we're going to be looking at doing is the stuff for New Capenna for Magic. I want to go over the pre-release, kind of what a pre-release event is, and how my specific pre-release goes. Definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing some retro Pokemon stuff, and I'm sure I'll pick up some Astral Radiance and other products as they're released. I'm going to be looking at more the philosophy of older Yu-Gi-Oh! And eventually I want to pick up some Goat decks and Edison and probably Tengu Plants. And probably Dino Rabbit is another format that I think gets more hate than it deserves. Especially at its higher tiers, it was kind of rock, paper, scissors. But like tier 1.5, tier 2 deck was a huge, diverse, a lot of stuff was at a pretty comparable power level to one another. And then even in that rock, paper, scissors shell of the Dino Rabbit and Zectors and Chaos Dragons, it wasn't necessarily 100% win rate against whatever deck you were superior against. It was just a slight favor. So I think that'll be a fun format to go over as well. And then for Digimon, we're going to get the product openings and the decks and other stuff going on. So if there's anything that you specifically really like about the types of videos that I talked about, definitely let me know in the comments. If there's anything that I touched on or I haven't touched on that you would like to see, let me know in the comments as well. I'm definitely, the channel's still growing. I'm certainly open to feedback. So if there's anything you want to see more of or anything you want to see less of, let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe so that you see when all the videos go live and keep up to date. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.